Sometimes it's best not to tell on yourself. I did 2 videos talking about Canelo Alvarez, Dimitri Bivol. I have to respond to a recent comment that I got proclaiming that everything that Canelo does is on the up and up. There's good fights out there, but Mayweather is an individual who took the time to only fight guys that came off losses. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. You guys are making it too easy for me. Let's go. Like I said before, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report, all things boxing, all things combat sports, all things MMA. Let's get right into it. Now, I did 2 videos. I did one yesterday, I did one today. Both the videos are essentially about Canelo Alvarez making the decision to do the 2-fight deal with DAZN versus PBC. At no point in time did I ever say Canelo was ducking. At no point in time did I disparage Canelo. At no point in time did I ever say that Canelo was doing anything that was below bar or shitty or anything like that. But what's fascinating is people will come to your channel, they'll watch your videos, they won't watch the whole thing. They'll get to a certain point where they get triggered and then they'll say reckless shit on your channel in the comment section. And I got you guys. So first things first, I want to send a special shout out to Juan Gonzalez. He left a comment on my video 43 minutes ago. I just peeped it. I want to read it to you guys. I'm going to read the whole thing. Then I'm going to cook. I'm about to be Chef Boyardee. I'm about to cook. Let's go. Shout out to Juan Gonzalez. Dimitri Bivol, Arthur Beterbiev, Jamal Charlo, Demetrius Andrade, Caleb Smith, or maybe Joe Smith Jr., I have to assume, and Zordo Ramirez are all good fights. We can't tell another man how to run his career. I agree with that. Plus, the Bivol fight puts him closer to undisputed at 175 pounds. Yeah, he's not going to be fighting Arthur Beterbiev. Anyway, Jamal Charlo is not coming up. Well, that's what was proposed. So PBC already said, hey, look, listen, we have these 2 fighters. We got Charlo, we got Benavidez, $100 million. Do you like it? We know that Canelo turned that deal down. If he signs that deal, do you know what that means? Canelo was never going back down to 160. So Charlo was going to come to 168. Coming up is not the challenge that coming down is. So you got to study a little bit more. You got to study a little bit more. Saunders beat Lemieux at 160. Who would send Charlo to Dreamland like he did Stevens. Those are 2 way different fighters, and for you to come out and say David Lemieux would flat out knock out Charlo, who has no losses, Jamal Charlo, that's silliness. That's straight silliness. Avni Yildirim did not want step-aside money. Why would he want step-aside money when he got paid $2.5 million, I believe, which is more than Lopez made against what's his damn name? George Kambosos, and it's the most money he ever made in his fight. And I would encourage you to look into the relationship between Avni Yildirim's handler and manager and Mauricio Suleiman, and you know that Mauricio Suleiman and WBC got love for Canelo. So just look into that. If you have the time to do it, look into it. But I know you don't have time, Juan Gonzalez. You know how I know you don't have time? Because of the shit you said right here. Charlo has rejected 2 Canelo offers, and so did Andrade, so they have to wait in line again. I never mentioned Demetrius Andrade, and Charlo got offered the fight. Canelo turned it down. So we don't, all the waiting, all this extra stuff, and these old-ass talking points, just leave it out there, because here's the deal. PBC offered the deal. At some point, Benavidez and Charlo were like, cool, I'm good with PBC offering the deal. So that if that meant they had to move up because Canelo's the A side, or make certain other concessions, that was already going to happen. So we don't have to talk about all this other shit and conjecture and what happened 2 and 3 years ago. PBC made the deal, $100 million. It was on the table. So they have to wait in line again. All right, cool. You know who was the greatest cherry picker? Floyd, who only fought guys coming off losses or coming up in weight. Juan Gonzalez, this is where you get flamed. Shout out to you, and don't delete this comment because I already screenshotted it, so don't delete it. I took the time because I wanted to get this right. Shout out to y'all. Like, subscribe, bell icon for notification. I'm about to cook Juan Gonzalez. I just wanted to go over this. So I want to read it again. You know who was the greatest cherry picker? Floyd Mayweather, who only fought guys coming off losses or coming up in weight. I know you're mad that Floyd beat Canelo back in 2013. I know you're upset about it. That's okay. Watch what I do. I didn't include the Conor McGregor joint, but I'm going to go over, I don't know, this is like the last 7 cats this won't take long. The last 7 cats that Mayweather fought, and, you know, what was happening before, you know, what preceded the bout with Mayweather. Andre Berto, 2-fight win streak. Last fight was Josecito Lopez. All right, so coming off victories in the welterweight division. Manny Pacquiao, 3-fight win streak. Last fought Chris Algieri, before he fought Mayweather. Still operating, who's a bigger guy, still operating in the welterweight division. So no one's been drug up in weight just yet. Marcos Maidana, 3-fight win streak. We know Mayweather fought him twice. This is after the first time that Mayweather fought him. Marcos Maidana on the 3-fight win streak. Last fought Josecito Lopez. You're going to notice a common theme with Josecito Lopez. He got a crazy resume. He fought everybody. Canelo is before the 2 Maidana fights. Coming off the Austin Trout victory, which was down in Texas, open scoring faux pas happened there. Dropped Trout late in the fight, straight right hand. At that point, we know that Canelo Alvarez, 23 years old, was undefeated. This was in 2013. So that was it. So right now I've done four combatants before Conor McGregor, all with winning streaks, all who've coming off victories before they fought Floyd Mayweather. I'll continue. Robert Guerrero won 8 fights in a row. His most recent victory was against Andre Berto before he fought Floyd Mayweather at 147 pounds, where he was a champion. So he didn't get drug up in weight. I'll continue. Miguel Cotto. His last fight before he fought Floyd Mayweather was against Antonio Margarito. Before that, he had won 3 fights in a row. Mayorga and Yuri Foreman were on that list. And then he fought Mayweather. That was the best fight Miguel Cotto ever had in his career. Still came up short. He looked fantastic in that fight. One of my favorite fights. Victor Ortiz, 4-fight win streak. Most recent victory was when he lifted a WBC belt off Andre Berto. Before he fought Mayweather, because you got to think back, when he did the Max Kellerman face-off, or what they did when it was still on HBO, he had his WBC ring on. He was hella proud of that ring. He told Mayweather, I don't make mistakes, or whatever he told Mayweather, and got fucked up anyway after he cheated. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fighters now that I've broken down. The most recent fights in Mayweather's career, every single one was on a win streak. Every single one was coming off a victory. Andre Berto, And then before that, Oscar De La Hoya. What was he doing? He came off the Ricardo Mayorga victory. That was a grudge match. You check his resume, he got a loss to Shane Mosley, and I think he had a loss to somebody else. I can't remember right now. Long story short, though, that was a bout contested at 154 pounds where Mayweather was coming up to fight Oscar De La Hoya, who was the A side in that fight. That was the introduction of Money Mayweather before it was Pretty Boy Floyd. Mayweather comes up, beats him. I think it was a majority decision, and that was the advent of Money Mayweather from there. So that's another fighter. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fighters that I broke down that coming off victories with winning streaks. And then before that, before the Oscar De La Hoya fight, Carlos Baldomir, 7-fight win streak, coming off a victory against Arturo Gatti, who fucking Floyd Mayweather cooked in New Jersey, in a hometown fight, stopped him in the 6th round, told everyone he was going to do it. Don't play with me. You put in your comment section, Floyd Mayweather, who only fought guys coming off losses or coming up in weight. The only guy that came up in weight in recent Floyd career was one Manuel Marquez, who already had the experience with Manny Pacquiao, came from 140 to 147, so it wasn't leave, continue to fight at 47 and stop guys at 47, so he had success within the division. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Listen, if you're gonna leave a comment, please do some homework. I'll do it for you occasionally, but if you write some shit like this, Floyd only fought guys coming off of losses or coming up in weight, you gonna get flamed. Holler at me. Like, subscribe, bell icon for notification. This is your boy JG. Shout out to Canelo Alvarez. Shout out to Dimitri Bivol. Let's go.